Welcome to the C# Programmer Zambia. In this video, we're going to be looking at adding and multiplying array elements. So before we dive right into it, I would like you to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get instant notifications on my uploads. Without further ado, let's dive right into it.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.
So let's pick a data type for our array. Let's dive right into coding for now. So we simply say float and we pick a name for our array. So let's say the name of our array is going to be numbers. Okay, and numbers, we're not going to declare the size of numbers right now. You can, but then we don't just want to limit the number of elements that we want to have. Okay, so we can simply say since this is a float, we can simply say 0.1, and we have 0.2. Let's say we have 0.3, we have 0.4, and we have 0.5. Okay, so we can actually get the answer of this just by adding it our heads. So this is going to be a 6, 10. Okay, so that's 1.5, right? So expect our answer to be 1.5. So how do we do the addition of elements of arrays using for loops? All right, so it's quite easy. Firstly, we need a variable that is going to be used to store our sum if we're adding and our product if we're multiplying. So we'll start with addition. So since our numbers are floats here, the number that's going to store our sum should also be a float. Okay, so we can simply say float sum, okay, equals 0. So I'm going to explain why we're assigning the value 0 to sum, and then thereafter we can go to our for loop. So we can simply say for we initialize the control variable is equal to 0, and we can say I is less than the number of elements that we have in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I is less than 5, and we say I plus plus because we want to be increasing I plus 1, I by 1. But then you might think, anyway, since I don't want to put 0 here, I'm going to say 1, and I'm going to say I is less than or equal to 5 because it's simply the same thing. Okay, now the problem that you're going to have is when you use this I to iterate through your for loop, it's going to start from the first the second element, because the index of 1 goes to the second element. Okay, so remember that counting starts from 0. Therefore, we just need to have 0 there. Okay, and I should be less than the number of elements that are in our for loop, our array. And thereafter we can have our block for the for loop, and we can simply have the formula that's going to be used to add the values of our array. So we start with the variable that is storing our sum. Okay, and its name is sum, so we can't forget that. So we simply say sum plus equal to. Okay, so that's a shortcut method of saying sum is equal to sum plus whatever is coming. Okay, so you can simply say sum plus equals, and you can simply say numbers and I in there, because I is going to be increasing from from 0 up to 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And we can simply do that. And thereafter, after all the addition is done, we simply want to output the value of our sum variable. So we're simply going to say the sum equals, okay, and from there we simply have our variable itself, sum. Okay, so we simply do that. Guess that's going to be fine, and let's try to run our program. So you simply say F9 and should run. Okay, so I guess you can see, as we expected, the sum is 1.5. Now let's say we want to multiply our values. Okay, so what are we going to do? Okay, so for multiplication, you should know that when we multiply any number by 0, it gives us 0. Okay, so we can simply change our sign there, and we also have to change the value of sum to 1. Actually, we can change from sum to products. Okay, it's not mandatory, you can keep it as sum, but then it will just be sensible because we're now multiplying. All right, so here you can simply say products as well, because we're changing that, and we also change that. So it's simply the same procedure, but then remember that this variable is supposed to be 1. Now let me show you what happens when you keep it at 0. So what's going to happen is this. The sum is equal to 0. Okay, we're supposed to have the product is equal to 0, but then you can see that our answer is 0. Okay, so first let's just start with changing this word. So the product, and now let's change the variable's value to 1, and let's run our program. Okay, so I guess you can see now, after multiplying all these, we have our answer there. Okay, so I guess it's very easy to do addition and multiplication of the elements of arrays. Okay, so I hope you guys like this video, and if you did and you're not a subscriber to my channel, I'd like you to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get instant notifications on my uploads. Thanks for watching this video, and see you in the next one.